the guys who played a lot stayed back at the hotel and or came here and got treatment, and then we had a good 4-on-4 scrimmage with the guys who didn't play as much.
Anything show up on tape from last night that we didn't talk about right after the game?
I think one of those nights where the ball didn't go in. We actually got some good looks, and sometimes I think I mentioned it. First game of a trip when you travel cross country, the shooting isn't quite what it normally is. So I thought the guys played really hard. Didn't think we trusted the pass quite enough, especially in the fourth quarter. I thought we took some tough ones instead of really staying connected offensively. Defensively, pretty good night overall. I thought we did enough to win defensively, but offensively we just struggled to find a rhythm most of the night. A couple things that I could have done better for sure. So it's always a group effort, but all in all, just we didn't do enough to win.
Steve, with the Nets, are you surprised at all, either at the level that Kevin's playing at 2 years after surgery, or just how they're playing in general without Kyrie?
No, I mean, when you have Kevin Durant and James Harden on the same team, that team's going to be good. They're talented, and they've got a great leader in Steve Nash, and just a good vibe about their team, good group. As for Kevin, I think we all expected him to come back and play at a high level. He's just so skilled at that size. I think it probably helped him that he had as much time off as he did. If I'm not mistaken, 17 months from the surgery to his first game, and then they did a smart job last year kind of pacing him. But it's great to see. He's one of the best players in the game, and means a lot to our franchise. Obviously, 2 Finals MVPs, and helped hang a couple of banners, and we had some great years. So we're all thrilled for Kevin that he's healthy and playing at such a high level.
Does he look like he's playing as well as he ever has?
Yeah, he looks like the same guy. I mean, if I watched a tape from 3 years ago and watched one from now, I don't think I'd be able to tell any difference.
Are there any added emotions for you or the players going and seeing Kevin now?
No, this is now the 3rd or 4th time that we will have had this matchup since he went to Brooklyn. I coached him in the Olympics this past summer. Draymond was there. Like a lot of time has passed, but the one emotion that will always be there is when you win championships together. That supersedes everything. So, going through 3 seasons and winning 2 championships, getting to the finals another time, going through all of the turbulence that comes with that. Obviously, massive injury at the end of all that. You factor it all in, and what you end up thinking about is what you accomplished together, and you sort of cut through all the BS, and in the end we all have great respect for each other, love each other, and we're thrilled that we all have the experience together, and now we wish each other well.
How much BS was there to cut through?
What's that?
How much BS was there to cut through?
I don't think as much as everyone wants to talk about it. We were the team in the spotlight for 3 years, and every team that goes through kind of a run where you're in the finals year after year, every team has stress. Everyone historically in the NBA has stress. We happen to be playing during the time of social media where every single thing is examined under a microscope. And by the 3rd year, this is kind of where things get to, where it's like you're exhausted from having to stay on top, and stuff happens, and you just try to deal with it. But there's a reason these things don't last forever, So, like I said, once the smoke clears, you sit back and you go, man, we accomplished a hell of a lot, and that was an amazing group of guys, and we'll always have that.
With John Kuminga, it's a little bit of a homecoming for him. He played high school ball here and AAU ball in New York. What have you seen from him so far, and what's his upside?
It's been great. I mean, he's just an incredible athlete, massive size and strength and athleticism. And he missed 3 weeks in training camp with a knee injury, so he got off to a late start. But the last couple of weeks, he's really starting to understand some things, what he's seeing out on the floor. What I like about him is there's a simplicity to his game. He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't foul. And when you're that big and strong and you can stay in front of people defensively without fouling, you can stay on the floor. So really good passer, learning the game, great attitude. JK's doing great. He's got a bright future.
You mentioned there, he hasn't been turning the ball over, but if you look at Summer League, even G League, or he does turn it over. Why do you think he's able to fit in a more simplified play?
I think he understands when he's playing with us that he's deferring to Steph and Draymond, that he's not the focal point, that he can be part of it without having to shoulder the responsibility of all the decision making. And then when it comes time for him to make a decision and make a play, he's just doing the simple thing and moving the ball on. And that's a great sign for a young guy. I think about Kawhi Leonard a lot. I think that's a good comp in terms of the size and the strength. And, I've watched some Kawhi from his rookie year and look back at San Antonio's circumstances then. Kawhi was playing with Manu and Timmy and Tony Parker, so he was kind of the fourth or fifth option. And, I think he played 24 minutes a night, scored 8 or 10 points a night, and played defense. And, that was the foundation for what he's become. And that's it's a good comp for us. JK's probably not going to play that many minutes because we've got a deeper team than ever, and we're in a place where we need the experience of the veterans to help us win right now. But in terms of his big picture development, this is a great time for him to be laying the foundation, and that's what he's doing.
Obviously, it's game by game, but where's Juan's status in the rotation right now?
Well, right now he's out of the rotation, and it's what happens when you have 14 guys who are all capable, 15 guys who are all capable of being in the rotation. Literally every single guy could be in the rotation, but it's impossible to do that. It was hard enough playing 11 the last couple of games. So it's one of the most difficult jobs I have this year, is trying to navigate minutes when you got so many worthy candidates for minutes. But we got to win the game first, we've got to see who's healthy and everything else. But with JK playing right now and playing well, it's sort of slid Juan off to the side, but he knows, and I've talked to him. His time is coming. It always does. It'll come back around for him.
I'm sure in past matchups when you were facing Harden, you'd probably spend 35 minutes pregame, going over the nuances of keeping your hand out and everything. Have these new rules changed the way you can even prep for Harden, or is there more confidence level?
Yeah, you don't have to spend as much time talking about the arm bar or where your hands are when you're coming off a screen. It's a more natural approach to basketball. You just, you get good position, you try to fight over a screen, and it makes things a little simpler. But that's true every single night. There's a lot of guys in this league who, over the past few years, have really figured out how to get to the line, and it's harder to do so this year.
Talked a lot about how the offensive players have had to adjust to that. Have you seen defensive players positively adjust to that and be more aggressive?
I'm not sure if I'm seeing that adjustment yet, or if they're just not getting as many fouls called on them, and now they're starting to realize that. Either way, it's to me it's a better product. It's a more competitive product. I like what the league has done overall.
Saying because of social media, kind of made everything, it feels like you were saying, made it kind of burn out quicker, like those teams with KD you guys had.
Yeah.
Is there a shorter shelf life now for kind of those dynastic type of teams? Like, how long can you stay together if you've got every moment being watched with that kind of scrutiny?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's tougher on a lot of levels to keep a team together. One is the salary cap. As guys become eligible for big contracts, and you've got 4 or 5 players who are all worthy of max contracts or near max contract. Basically impossible to keep a group like that together for 8 or 10 years, and that wasn't the case 20 years ago. You look at those Lakers Celtics teams in the 80s. That was 40 years ago now, so I'm getting old. But you think about some of those groups, Bird, McHale, Parrish, DJ, Danny Ainge. I mean, they were together year after year after year after year. And it's tougher to do that these days. Shorter contract length for players. Players are much more likely to exercise their freedom and move on to a new team, new challenge. So all that is baked in as well. But then, the social media stuff, I think it's never been more difficult to be a professional athlete than right now. Every single one of these guys is criticized and judged not on a daily basis or even an hourly basis, on a, minutely basis, and it's right there in their fingertips through their phones. And that makes life a lot more difficult, and so there's a lot more stress to navigate and mental health issues. We're all human. These same principles apply to everybody. We live in this strange world now where we all like to criticize each other behind the secrecy of our keyboard. And a lot of people say things that they would never say to someone face to face. So you imagine these players reading that stuff. Just as human beings, it's brutal. So you factor that into an already high stress environment. It's a tough way to live, and that we try to help our players navigate their way through that. But it's tough on them no matter what.
How do you approach kind of these barometer games? It's so early in the season, but there'll be a lot of eyes on two teams near the top of their respective conferences.
It's just exciting, fun to play in these games, national TV, a lot of star power out there, a lot of hype. So I think our players are looking forward to it. But, win or lose, it's, we got 69 games left or whatever it is.
Do you get anything out of these as a coach? Do you get anything more? Does the tape tell you anything new that maybe another game wouldn't?
Maybe not, yeah.
On that note, and on a more basic level, you guys know Kevin so well. He was here. He helped win so much. And you know James so well because you went against him so many times. What is it like preparing for a team with both of them?
What are we like?
What's it like preparing for a team that has both of them on it?
Well, you got to be ready to play individual defense. They're both incredible in terms of getting their own shot, and we've been very good with our team defense this year. Haven't been as good individually, so that's the challenge tomorrow. Is guarding your man, staying in front of your man, because when those guys break you down, they're both great passers too. And when they start finding three-point shooters and everybody's getting involved, that makes it really tough.
It's a little early to be talking about MVP, but is it fair to say that Steph and Kevin are playing as well as anyone in the league right now and
sure
will be in the conversation?
Yeah, no doubt. To me, they've been the two best players in the league so far.